Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to give everyone a chance to come on who desires to come on for the live chat. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Jason. And let's see, we're just going to give it a few moments. And decided to use the image on the screen just for a few moments as I finish setting up and waiting for others to come on. Welcome, welcome. Just giving it a few minutes. How is everyone today? How is everyone? Let's see. Yesterday, I did 2 videos. I did one video on the creation of the crystal grid that you see in the image on the screen, and that was a wonderful contemplative process. And you can see the video in which it was created. I think it's called How to Crystal Grid. The thumbnail image is a picture of Kuan Yin sitting, a little golden statuette of the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin sitting next to a crystal pillar. And then after that, the next video, which many people did not receive a notification. There was what do you call it? A video that I did using the crystal grid, and it was I did a reading. What did I do the reading from? Reading from How to Sit, which is a very lovely little book by Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay, so I'm going to give it just a few more minutes. I know it's sort of give a little bit of time. So I welcome everyone on. Okay, all right. So let's take a moment to settle in to this space, a nice, deep, centering, calming breath. And we'll invite the chimes. Nice, deep breath. Okay, welcome, welcome. So what I wanted to do today before we get started is to introduce a crystal for today. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing. If you would like a copy of this image, of this crystal mandala, you can check it out on my Facebook artist page, which is Tamu and Ngina, holistic artist. You put all 4 of those words in and it will take you right to the page. I believe that there is a link down below. And if there isn't a link down below, I will certainly include a link at a later time. So welcome everyone, welcome. Let me see, I'm gonna put my glasses down. To learn to put my glasses in the case, they're so easy to scratch. So easy to scratch. Okay, so I wanted to revisit a crystal that I have visited with in the past, and I thought it was nice to revisit today. And it's my favorite crystal. I usually wear a pendant of it, but sometimes I feel like I'm being choked and need to let go of all the necklaces that I wear. So the beautiful mineral, stone, rock, whatever you would decide to call it, crystal I want to revisit today is definitely one of my favorites. Sorry, my nose is itching like mad. And this is labradorite. So these are two very different specimens in the colors. So this is labradorite. This is one of my most favorite. This is, I would say, if I had only one stone to pick for the rest of my life to have, I would say it would be labradorite. Can you see that incandescence, that iridescence in there? The beautiful shades of blue. Let's see, I don't think this one has much purple. This is more blue and green in there. And this one is, it's rough on this side. You can even see the iridescence in there as well. And this one is polished all the way around. But this one, when I first saw this stone at the shop, this was a while back, to me it looked like fire. Number one, it's sort of shaped like a flame. You see, well, you can't really see the flame in the picture because of the glowing of the glass, but to me it was shaped like a flame. And also this sort of looks like a bridge. A little bit hard to see. There you go. Can you see that? I kind of thought that was a bridge. There's a little bit of water right there, the blue-green. So this is labradorite as well. And there's another specimen of labradorite. So these are my favorite, ultimate favorite stones. So I'm going to share with you the metaphysical properties of labradorite. And once I finish that, we're going to get a little reading from the Tao Te Ching. And I wanted to pull some cards for people. I actually have 2 decks of cards that I haven't used on our show here, but I've used them in my meditation group that I have. Generally at the beginning of the meditation, people would pick a card for themselves, something to contemplate. And I thought that would be nice, a nice inspiration for the morning. So let's look up labradorite, because Jason is asking, what does labradorite do for you? So let's see, let's check it out. Okay. So I will hold this up while I read it. Okay, labradorite. And I'm reading from Love is in the Earth by Melody. She only goes by one name. You know, she's like Madonna or Sinead. So this is labradorite. And for those who are new on the program, the show, there's labradorite right there. And this is another specimen, labradorite. Okay, so it corresponds to, hold on, get your fingerprints. Okay, it corresponds to the astrological signs of Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Leo. And it's also known as spectrolite. Labradorite is a type of feldspar, which crystallizes in the form of masses, grains, and tabular crystals. The colors range includes white, which I've never seen a white one, yellow, and gray. Well, they missed out blue, green, and purple, because I have one that has a lot of lavenderish purple in it. Often a display of spectral colors due to the interference of light rays from the plate-like composition causes labradorite to flame with broad patches of peacock blue, coppery, red, or dusky gold labradorescence. In addition to the properties listed in this feldspar section, and feldspar You also have your moonstones. Moonstone are feldspar. And even in a granite, you've seen beautiful granite countertops. It has like that little sparkly labradorescence in it as well, because what do you call it? Granite has little patches of feldspar in it. Okay. This mineral protects one's aura. Let's see, there we go. This mineral protects one's aura and helps to keep the aura clear, balanced, protected, and free from energy leaks. It assists in alignment of subtle bodies. It represents temple of the stars, assisting one in sustaining, maintaining, while providing for the understanding of the destiny one has chosen. The energy of labradorite facilitates transformation of intuition and intellectual thought. It's hard holding that book up. Labradorite is also a stone of wisdom and intuition. So, you know, if you're interested in really digging deep and getting in touch with that internal wisdom, labradorite is a beautiful stone. It's sort of like a stone of gazing, because when you're gazing in it, and wow, it's really hard. I don't know if you can see it, but if you really look at the stone, there's so many different facets of color. There's so many different striates and lines and patterns in there. And you can find yourself meditating on that, which causes you to go deeper within. And next thing you know, you're really deeply in training with your higher self and receiving the knowledge that you need to receive. So, you know, even though I do sessions with people, do spiritual counseling and energetic sessions with people, I'm really big on encouraging people that it's important that you make your own connection with self, that you take the time to sit in meditation. And there's nothing wrong with using external objects to help you to focus. For instance, like using a flame to focus on, even using a stone. So this is perfect to fit in your palm. And, you know, instead of staring at a flame, because quite honestly, sometimes staring at a flame, for those people who are light sensitive, that can sort of bother your eyes, or, you know, like give you a little bit of a migraine sort of feeling, which is sort of what I had felt the last time that I did a video segment on discussing meditation using flame. But the main reason why I picked this one out, because if you look at it, this really looks like a bridge. And there's a lot of purple in there. There's green in there that I mentioned. The other color looks like a fire, but yet there's green going across that fire. That can become sort of like a metaphor for your soul, for your spark of divinity. And as you're connecting with that, but it's taking you within and can really help your meditation and contemplation, you know, utilizing your imagination and causing you to really be able to go deep. So let me get back to what Melody has to say regarding labradorite. And if you have any questions in the chat room, please feel free to post them, or any thoughts that you like to share, or anything, you know, because remember, even though I'm the one here on this side of the camera, all of us make up this show, this segment. This belongs to all of us. Okay, let's see. It helps one to reflect and to facilitate transformations which are beneficial. It also enhances patience and inner knowing of at the right time. It allows for recognition that humanity represents the being of light, transcending the limitations of the past. And thoughts, sorry about that. Let's see. Transcending the limitations of the past and thoughts of the future, embracing the infinite possibility of the moment. Labradorite brings the commencement of recognition of one's inherent analytical and rational abilities. And I really find that because remember, I said as I was sitting here really looking into the stone, and due to my years of painting till 3 o'clock in the morning with really low light and dim light, my eyesight is not as good as it used to be. And wearing the glasses, I can really see the depths in the stone more. And there's so many lines and gateways and straightways and this here and there like a grid. It can really entrain the mind into deep introspection. I don't need to get into that right now because that's taken away from you guys because you can't see it yourself, but I encourage you to get a piece of labradorite. And let's see. Labradorite, it further promotes the synthesis of intellectual thought with the intuitive, mystical, and psychic wisdom. It assists in inspiring one to introduce the teaching of other worlds to this world of love and light, bringing assimilation and illumination to further the advancement of humanity. And it vibrates to the number 6 and 7. That's interesting because you don't find many stones that vibrate to more than one number. And again, here is the other sample of labradorite. And it may not be translating quite as well over the screen, but when you're really looking at it and all the lines and lattices, it really does bring you in. It really does bring you in. Okay, so that is labradorite. And yes, this is Love is in the Earth melody. And let's just do a quick check-in with the Crystal Bible. Yeah, there's a section on moonstone. Let's see, labradorite. It says the iridescent labradorite is highly mystical and protective stone. Also, labradorite is a stone of journeying. Is a stone for dreaming. If you really want to get into lucid dreaming and traveling in your dreams, astral travel. It's it's the mystic stone. It raises consciousness and connects with universal energy. And labradorite calms an overactive mind and energizes the imagination, bringing up new ideas. Yeah, I definitely see that because that's all, that's the kind of energy that I get from it as I stare into it. Jason says, not to sound repetitive, how do you yourself best meditate and not lose focus and just be in yourself so I may get a better perspective on it? Okay, it's really simple. Like I said, you want to have something that you are focusing on. A flame could be one. You light a candle, have it sitting eye level. That's right, eye level, so that you're not going too down or you're not raising your eyes up to look at it. Something at eye level, and focus on the flame. And as you're focusing on the flame, you want to be conscious of breathing in and breathing out. So like the breathing in, aware that you're breathing in, and as you breathe out, aware that you're breathing out. Those are all tools. Those are 2 tools that you can use to help keep you focused so that your mind isn't constantly wandering. And again, I would say labradorite would also be a very good stone for meditation. Okay, because of the amazing designs, and it's like a universe inside of here. And using that instead of a flame, because for some the flame could give them a headache, sitting and focusing on that. And of course, as you're focusing and concentrating on it, breathing, that your breathing is not forced, you're not controlling it, but as you breathe in, you're conscious of the fact that you're breathing in. As you breathe out, you're conscious of the fact that you're breathing out. And another thing to have, so you have what you're concentrating on, you have your breath as training wheels, the inhale, exhalation. And so that's two things. The third thing, you could get an app or an egg timer, or use your cell phone and set the timer on. So that way you're not constantly wondering, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? So if you want to sit down and meditate for, let me put that down, meditate for an hour. I just got a text from my brother saying, hey, gorgeous. I haven't heard from my brother in quite some time. Let's see. So this is the Insight Timer app. You can see it. This is available on the iOS platform as well as Android, and it is free. There are some things that you can get if you pay. I'm not sure how the structure is now, but it is a free app, and there are parts of it that are available free. And with the Insight Timer app, you can set up, you can see that, you can set up presets. And you can see some of my presets here. I have a 20-minute meditation, a 36, a 45-minute meditation, Reiki session, which is 55 minutes, a 10-minute quickie, breathing for 15 minutes, a one-hour healing session. There you go. So you can set the timers. Here, I'll click the breathing one for you. You can set the timer, and then it starts. And you get like a 10-second warm-up, you know, so that you can get into position, make sure everything is ready, get that last cough out. And then there you go. And you can either put it face down or have it sitting up, and then focus on your flame or just focus on your breathing. And there you go. And the really cool and wonderful thing about it also is that once you finish meditating, you see, there's 416 people who were currently meditating. And it can, I mean, you don't have to, you can have it so your profile is, what do you call it? And hidden, you can see people this is people all over the world, right? This is people all over the world who are meditating right now. And if I want to see people who are local, people who are within 30, 40 miles of me here in Pennsylvania, there's one person. And there are also groups. I'm not really into the groups, although I have subscribed to some. I don't know why. I think it's just a obsession to do so. All different types of groups. So these are all the members of the different groups that I'm in that are meditating right now. Because it's nice to feel that you're not alone. And even though, and at the end when you're finished meditating, what's really cool is that people will send you a message, and they'll send you a message and say, thank you for meditating with me, or they'll send you a more personal message. And that's really nice if you're into that. It just makes you feel like you're in this worldwide Sangha. Sangha is a Pali or Sanskrit word for community of those who are working towards being awake. So there you go. Okay, that is off. So there you have it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do our Tao Te Ching reading. Today I'm just going to read from one of the books, and then I will have, let's see, you know what, I'm going to set that aside from right now. Since this is an Eckhart Tolle day, we're going to read a little bit from Eckhart Tolle, and then I have a deck of cards from his book, Stillness Speaks. and from the power of now. And these are the cards that I used in meditation group when people would arrive for meditation. I would encourage them to pick a card and use that in their meditation. It's just like a verse, a saying, and have them pick a card randomly or pick one out that resonates with them. So I can pull a card out for you if you like. So let's do a quick reading from Eckhart Tolle. Only by awakening can you know the true meaning of that word. Instead of being lost in your thinking, when you awaken, you recognize yourself as the awareness behind it. Thinking then ceases to be a self-serving, autonomous activity that takes possession of you and runs your life. Sometimes for some people, it ruins their life. Awareness takes over. Awareness takes over from thinking. Instead of being in charge of your life, thinking becomes the servant of awareness. Awareness is conscious connection with universal intelligence. Another word for it is presence, consciousness without thought. What is the relationship between awareness and thinking? Awareness is the space in which thoughts exist when the space has become conscious of itself. Again, awareness is the space in which thoughts exist when the space has become conscious of itself. So this is about, that journey of awakening. And one step in that journey of awakening is to become aware that you are aware that you are thinking, or just pure awareness outside of simply having a physical body and going through the emotions. You just become aware that you are the observer. I've had that experience a couple of times, and I can tell you that it is profound. It is profound when you're just existing in that. It's like you're existing in that consciousness. And, even though he uses the term here, space, and at first it was like, why is he using space? But I realized why, human words are very limited, and they do keep us sort of concretely bound into a certain form, and it can be very difficult to get out of that form, so words are limited. But what I understand for him to mean by that space, and that we are that pure space, is that consciousness is what that space is. To have a certain amount of awareness that's not connected to your physical body. And how I've heard some clients describe it, when I've done craniosacral therapy sessions with them, they've described it as in they forgot they had a body. They're aware, but not aware of the physical limitations of that body. Therefore, it's like they are being the space that's around us. They're not confined to one concrete form. Okay. Oh, I can't even read what that says, but the question is, do you see synchronicities? Chris Monet has a lot to say about synchronicities. She and I should probably do a video on that. And actually, she has a video on her channel on synchronicity. So I would invite you to check out Chris Monet's channel, which is KRIS, okay? And Monet, like the painter, M-O-N-E-T, Monet. Yeah, so check out, she has a video, synchronicities, and I think I might get her to come on my channel and we can discuss it. And speaking of which, we plan to do that very soon. Not necessarily that topic, but maybe it might come up. But sometime today, we plan to do that. All right. So if there's anyone in the chat room that would like for me to pull a card for them, let me know. The one, break the chains backwards, Tamu. Not sure what that's referencing, Chris, but Chris says break the chains backwards, Tamu. Okay, so I have two decks here. This is the Power of Now deck, and this is Stillness Speaks. This is all about sitting still in meditation, reaching that place of silence. So Jason, Chris, I couldn't pronounce the other person's name. If anyone wants me to pull a card for them, say me and what deck, me and stillness. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I get it now. Now I see it. I was looking forward and not backwards. Yes, I get it now. That's really cool. I tell you, when you're on this side of the camera and you're trying to speak and then look, it's enough for me to try not to lose my train of thought when I go back and forth. But yes, yes, I see it now. That's really cool. Okay, so Jason, do you want this or break the chains, or Chris? If you want one, just say me and now or me and stillness, and I will pull a card for you. And then I have to get going. So I'm going to shuffle the deck. And if no one individual, okay, all right, there you go, Jason. All right, so just meditate within, take a nice deep breath and connect with your heart center. Take a nice deep breath, and you can physically put your hands on your heart center and breathe into that area. Just a moment of stillness within yourself, a moment of meditation, and I will pull a card for you, Jason. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. This one's for you, Jason, is accept and surrender. Okay. And here are the words for you, if you can see those. Okay, and it says, surrender comes when you no longer ask, why is this happening to me? Acceptance of the unacceptable is the greatest source of grace in this world. And I would also, let me read it one more time for you. Surrender comes when you no longer ask, why is this happening to me? Acceptance of the unacceptable is the greatest source of grace in this world. And Jason says, wow, that means so much. And I would also add in this, Jason, to remember the surrendering, even when it comes to your meditation session, because I'll just be blunt with you. The worst way to go into the meditation is to have expectations. Okay? Let me repeat that. The worst way to go into meditation is to have expectation. One of the best ways I found to go into meditation is to go in with the energy of surrender. Just surrender to that moment. Surrender to your breath, your inhalation, your exhalation. Just surrendering. Just being in that moment without any expectations. Because I know one of the, even in Reiki classes and in meditation, you'll have people say, oh, I want to be able to see the lights. I want to be able to do this. I want to do that. And it's not, as long as you keep wanting it, it's not going to happen. Because it's like you are anticipating and you're working and you're doing and you're doing and you're doing. Even though you're not physically doing something, your mind is having expectations. You know, it's when you release and just surrender to the moment. You're just going to get into meditation. You're just going to focus on this moment, whether it's the flame or the crystal. and your inhalation and your exhalation. And once you let go, once you allow yourself, as everything begins to let go and just drain right out, that's when it happens, when you least expect it. I've been in situations where I've had some very profound experiences of that spaciousness, of that pure consciousness. But once I started to say, oh my God, look what I'm doing, then it stops. But surrendering to it is what happens. There you go. All right, so anyone next? They have one more. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Put me in the chat bracket, and whether you want me now or me stillness. And thank you, Jason. Thank you. You are welcome. You're welcome. Okay. All right. So we don't have any more takers at this time. That's good. All right. So I'm going to just pull an overall card for all of us from the Power of Now. And put my glasses on to read it. And this one, you know, the cards in both deck, they have different titles like the presence, the power of presence, the way out of pain, the flame of awareness, and what else? I think there's another one. Oh, the liberation through change. That's from the Power of Now. And in stillness, there is acceptance and surrender, beyond thinking mind, freedom from egoic self, who you truly are, silence and stillness, the stillness of eternity, the stillness of nature, and is there another one? Oh, that's it. So I just find it interesting when I shuffled the deck, and we were in the stillness deck and brought up for Jason about surrender. There's a card for the group. The wisdom of surrender. The wisdom of surrender. Okay. And here's the card, something that we can think about today. The wisdom of surrender. Surrender is perfectly compatible with taking action, initiating change, and achieving goals. But in the surrendered state, a totally different quality flows into your doing. In the state of surrender, you see very clearly what needs to be done, and you take action, doing one thing at a time and focusing on one thing at a time. And I'll read that one more time. Surrender is perfectly compatible with taking action. Why is it important to know that? Because a lot of people confuse surrender with giving up. Now this surrender here is completely different from the surrender when I was saying when you're in the meditative state, just surrender to that now. And in a way, you're taking action. The action is you're accepting the now as it is, and you're going to go into meditation there without and with releasing attachment to the outcome. And this is the same thing. So its surrender is perfectly compatible with taking action, initiating change, and achieving goals. But in the surrendered state, a totally different quality flows into your doing. In the state of surrender, you see very clearly what needs to be done, and you take action, doing one thing at a time and focusing on one thing at a time. And as you're focusing on that one thing at a time and you're doing that one thing at a time, and then you're doing what comes next, you're still surrendering to it. You're not attached to the outcome. You're not saying this is how it has to be. You're doing what needs to be done for hopefully the desired effect, but you release it. Because if you're holding on and thinking it has to be this way and it has to be this way, what happens when it doesn't turn up quite the way you expect it to, then that creates, as we say in Buddhism, dukkha, not doo-doo, not dookie, dukkha, which is dissatisfaction, which is suffering, which is kind of smells like dookie. So, okay. Yes. So this week, and I believe it's Friday, it's either Thursday or Friday. We're going to keep getting to that point. We're going to have a really, 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 really awesome guest on. And the day of, you will know. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing interview with an amazing person. I'm not going to give any of it away, but I'm so excited. So thank you, Chris, for reminding me. Yes. Okay. So, and I thank all of you for being on this this show. And I encourage you, if you came in late, start from the beginning and, see what's up. Maybe there's something there for you. And we discussed labradorite stone, as well as here is the other sample, other specimen, as they say. And and what I've learned through experience and even have discussed this with Chris Monet is that yes, there are synchronicities, and what I come to understand sometimes those synchronicities can be tests for us. All synchronicities are not necessarily always beneficial. Sometimes synchronicities, and I don't know the whole makings of it, and Chris Monet does a wonderful way of explaining synchronicities, and that you have to use discernment when it comes to synchronicities, because at least from my experience of my many moons, many seasons on this earth, is that not all synchronicities, following them, you have to have discernment when you follow synchronicities, because simply because synchronicities happen, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the path that you want to go down. You said the book title is, what is that? Is Hints of the Guess. No, Pavel. You won't guess this one. I don't think anyone will, but anyway, okay, so anyone have any last comments or anything they want to share? Again, yes, so Chris has agreed. We will talk about it at our show later today. Yes, we're having a show later, early this afternoon. So check your notification. Early this afternoon, early afternoon, we will have a show, and it will be amazing, and we can discuss synchronicity then. Okay, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I just want you to know that I truly, truly, truly appreciate every single one of you, whether I personally know you or not. I truly believe that we are all connected. I truly believe that when I'm taking care of myself and doing right for myself, I'm doing right for all of you. We are in this together. And it warms my heart, whether or not you are here on the show live with me or watching it later or doing your own thing, shining your own light, doing your soul's mission to contribute and having your voice heard and connecting with love. Because the bottom line is not all the fancy degrees you have, not all the beautiful crystals you've created, not all the magnificent artwork you've created. Yes, I created this magnificent artwork. It's not about that. It's about, at least for me, it's about the love that you've connected with and that you've shared, and that you use the energy of that love to transform yourself, to understand yourself, to accept yourself, and to blossom as you should in this life. So I thank you. I thank you so much. If anyone wants to contact me privately, there is a box below where you can contact me privately. Thank you, Jason. It is all you. It is all your willingness to be here to shine for me, and I shine for you. Thank you, John, for being here. Thank you, Jason, Pavel. Thank you for Break the Chains, and thank you, Chris. And join Chris and I a little afternoon today. We will be on live. That's Eastern Standard Time in the Northeastern United States time, Philly time, Philadelphia, New York time. Anyway, let's take a nice deep centering breath. Let's take a moment to remember our ancestors, to remember all those who have transitioned before us. I wish you peace. I wish you great bliss. I will, Pavel. I will. Just remind me. I will do a show on that, about charging crystals, about utilizing them. Oh, and Pavel, also check out my video on building a crystal grid. I think it's about 2 videos in the past. Yesterday, I did a video on how to create a crystal grid, and that can be that is also along that line. Okay, so thank you.